Yeah, shalom, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And once again, it's another video. Hopefully you find this one edifying as well as exhorting. This video is going on live right now, put up by Elder Pastor, entitled "You Christians Can Get to Steppin' or Steppin'." Nate still deceiving his zombies concerning the MOTB. Now, I'm going to deal with the second part. I'm in the video, in the part of this video where he deals with the second part. Nate still deceiving the zombies concerning the MOTB. And there's a part where Pastor does the scenario, because Nate says that, that the mark of the beast is sin. Now, in Revelation 13:16, it says you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have this mark. So Pastor did a scenario where where in order for you to buy you'd have to go through an inquisition. Forgive me. Go through an inquisition of what sins have you committed, or did you sin? And then he mentions about looking at the looking at a woman's fat ass, knowing that she was married. That was my sin for the day. Okay, so you're allowed to buy. And all I could think about is, man, that would make a beautiful Monty Python sketch, That's the first thing that came to my mind. I said, man, that sounds like I was gonna put it in the comment section, because as he premieres his videos, you can leave comments. I said, nah, man, I'm gonna do a video on this, because to quote the words of Desi Arnaz, it's just so ridiculous. I mean, anyone who believes that crap that Nate talks about, the MOTB, it being sin, is just you talk about brain dead, slow bellies, like the scriptures call individuals like that. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it, man.
Check it out. 14 tomorrow. Job 10:14. Job chapter 10, verse 14. If I sin, then thou markest me. That goes. Wait a minute. Let's put.
And then that scripture, Job 10 and 14, let's go there. The scripture is very specific in Revelation 13:16. It says the mark. There are many marks. The scripture in Revelation 13:16 is very specific, not Pacific. Very specific. Okay, it's the mark of the beast. Now, if you know who the beast is, the beast has its own mark. Okay, so for that's very disingenuous for Nate to use Job 10 and 13. Here in Revelation 13:16, it speaks about a specific mark. Revelation 13:16, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their foreheads, or receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast. So it's a specific mark, the mark of the beast. What is it? What is this mark of the beast? This beast, which is a metaphor for who? For the Edomite power structure. Okay, this beast. This is the power structure of the Edomite, which comes in the form today, coming in the spirit of Ned Beatty from the movie Network, today. Okay, if you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. That beast today comes in the form of the Edomite power structure, which comes in the form of what? NATO, all right? NATO, also known as what? The ECC, all right? The European Common Market, okay? Which goes back to what? The 10 toes, which is what Nebuchadnezzar saw in his dream, which the prophet Daniel interpreted, okay? So that is the beast, which is a metaphor Okay, when Daniel saw the, not Daniel, I'm sorry, when the Apostle John saw the vision on the island of Patmos, he actually saw a beast, but it's a metaphor. Okay, he actually saw a beast. When he saw the woman, he actually saw a woman. But the woman was a metaphor for what? For America. That woman represented America. Okay, that woman that the Apostle John fell in love with, that admired. Okay, that represented America. So it's the same thing with this beast. This beast is a metaphor for the Edomite power structure. Okay, the European Common Market, NATO. Okay, so this Edomite power structure, which the beast is a metaphor for, has a mark. And what is that mark? Well, when you go into the word mark in the Greek word there is charagma. Some say charagma, which is a thing that's going to be inserted inside of you to mark you as what? A citizen of the so-called New World Order, because that's what the Edomite power structure wants to bring. They want to bring a New World Order. It's on the back of your $1 bill. The pyramid with the all-seeing eye. Okay? So for Nate to teach that the mark of the beast is sin, right? It's a sin to take it. It's a violation of, what is sin? Transgression of the Lord's law. In the book of Leviticus, it specifically says, as a matter of fact, let's go to it. Leviticus 19. All right, Leviticus 19. Leviticus 19 and 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Now the cuttings in the flesh for this mark of the beast to be inserted inside of you, which is the RFID chip, a cutting has to be made into your flesh to insert that chip into your body. And when you go into the word charagma, which means a thing inserted, the root word for charagma is karax, the Greek word karax, which is literally the instrument that's going to be used to insert that charagma thing inserted inside of your body. It's easy to understand, okay, by someone that their brain is actually working. It's easy to understand, all right? But like Elder Pastor always says, you got nothing but zombies over there at the IUIC. This is way above their pay grade. You see? So that's why taking the mark of the beast would be sin. But the mark of the beast itself is not sin. It's an actual device that they want to put inside of you for control, for total control. That's what it's all about. So once again, for let's go to Job now. And then we're going to go back to the video. Job 10 and 13. So for Nathaniel to use that scripture, talk about, well, that's why the Ezekiel 13 and 4, O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert. It's not that Nathaniel is stupid. He's just being deceiving. He's being real cagey. He's being real deceiving. Okay? Job 10 and 14. If I sin, then thou markest me. This is not the mark of the beast. This is a different mark. Okay? This is a different mark. There are many different type of marks, you know. In Revelation 13:16, it's very specific. It's the mark of the beast. So this beast has a mark. What is his mark? See? Boy, I tell you.
Wait a minute. Let's put in the cart before the horse. He said the mark is sin. Now Job is saying, if I sin, then the Lord marketh me, which has nothing to do with the word mark and revelation. Two different words.
Exactly, and two different concepts. In Revelation 13:16, it's very specific. It's the mark of the beast. This beast has a mark. What is his mark? And I already explained to you what his mark is. Totally different from Job. Now, what about rightly dividing the word of truth? Totally different from Job 10 and 14. That's not an example of rightly dividing the word of truth, man. That's an example of being deceptive. Is it not written rightly dividing the word of truth? He ain't doing that. And you have to ask yourself, why is he going above and beyond to be so deceptive with this mark of the beast? That proves that he's taking the bag, man. I mean, he can't be that fucking stupid, which he ain't. He's being deceiving. Talking about Nathaniel, man. 2 Timothy 2 and 15, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, and he ought to be ashamed of himself. Rightly, here's the key, rightly dividing the word of truth. So when you're using Job 10 and 14 to prove that this mark of the beast located in Revelation 13:16 is sin, then you're being deceptive, man. Because those are totally two different marks. Totally two different marks. Okay? Let's get back to the video.
Which has nothing to do with the word mark and revelation. Two different words.
Exactly.
This idiot, because he doesn't know, because he doesn't understand it, he doesn't go to the Hebrew, all right?
Well, that's
or
true.
The Greek.
That's true. He don't go to, or maybe, well, not at least not on camera. We believe behind the scenes he does. We believe behind the scenes he'll go to the blue letter. He'll go to the sources that we go to. He made a statement. He said that he watches all our videos. Okay, and that he made that statement to Elder Apostle Ricard when he ran into Elder Apostle Ricard. But on camera, you know, like he is now, he won't do it. You know, he's keeping that deception going.
You come across the word mark in the English. Anytime you see the word mark, it means the same thing. No, you dumbass.
Exactly.
But we don't really believe he's dumb. We believe he took a bag.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a main motivation why he's keeping that deception going. And that main motivation is because he's taking the bag. And if indeed he took the bag, if you try to go back, if you try to bite the hand that feeds you, as they say, they very well may delete you. Okay? You've heard the saying, in too deep. If he's in that deep, he's gonna be hell to pay to get out. Another example is when you go to scriptures like Ezekiel 9 and 4, that's a totally different mark. All right? Ezekiel 9 and 4. You know, listening to Nathaniel, you'll think every time you see the word mark in the scriptures, it's it's the same concept. No, it's not. This is where the word context comes into play. It has to be in the right context, rightly divided. The Apostle Paul told Timothy in that letter, you must rightly divide the word of truth. And stop being so deceptive, man. Here it is right here, Ezekiel 9 and 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. What is that mark? That mark is this knowledge, this truth. Okay, which exempts you from judgment. What judgment? Judgment that the destruction Yahushua is coming with, which is those nuclear missiles along with the chariots, both bringing fire. That means you're set aside. That's what that word mark there means. You're set aside so you don't take part in that judgment. All right? And this scripture comes to mind is 2 Timothy 3 and 18. Because when you go into this word mark here, which is a totally different mark from Revelation 13:16. I'm just giving you an example of how it's not every word you see that says mark is the same concept. You have to get into the context of it, of how the word is being used. In this case, Ezekiel 9:4, hey, you see the word mark here, the Hebrew thawah, which means what? Mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. See? So this mark, which is the knowledge of these scriptures, the true knowledge, the 100% truth, will exempt you from judgment. And the scripture to back that up is again, rightly. Now you see what I'm doing? I'm giving you an example of rightly dividing the word of truth. Based upon the word mark in Ezekiel 9:4, the scripture that links in with that is 2 Timothy to show you that the mark is this knowledge is truth. Pursuant to Ezekiel 9:4, this is 2 Timothy 3 and what is it? Okay, it's not 2 Timothy 3. Might be. I know it's in Timothy, but I'll find it. James. I always think it's I always think it's 2 Timothy. Forgive me. James, the 1st chapter and the 21st verse. So let's go over that again. Ezekiel 9:4, the mark that you see there, set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations, all the wickedness that's being done in this society. Set a mark upon them. That be done in the midst thereof. Right. All the wickedness that is going on in this Edomite society, set a mark upon these brothers that are sighing and crying against it. What is that mark? When we go into Hebrew, the word there, as we did, is tawah, which means what? Exempt from judgment. So what is that mark? Pursuant to Ezekiel 9:4, as we see here, mark, right? Tawah, it says exempt from judgment. What is that mark in Ezekiel 9:4? That mark is the knowledge of the scriptures. Now we go to James. James 1:21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, right? And here's the point. And receive with meekness humility, because the key of longevity in this faith is to be humble, to always be humble. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, right? So receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul. So that's your mark there for Ezekiel 9:4. See that? Engrafted, meaning once you receive this knowledge, this truth, you are marked. If you receive it and you believe in it and you follow it and you have faith in it, then you are marked. You're set aside from judgment. Okay? As a matter of fact, even the Apostle Paul said he bare the marks of Yahushua. So this knowledge, this truth is likened unto a mark. Okay? You know, when the Israelites had to put that blood, they had to mark their doorposts for the Passover, because the angel of death would pass over them. When he saw the blood on the doorpost, that was the mark that the angel of death needed to see to pass over that house and not bring judgment upon that house. You see? So the mark now is this knowledge, this truth, pursuant to Ezekiel 9:4, is this knowledge, this truth that we are receiving. So that when judgment comes, it'll pass over us. You see? So this is a far different mark than Revelation 13:16. Revelation 13:16 in particular is talking about the mark of the beast. This beast has a mark. What is his mark? This beast, what is his mark? I already explained to you what his mark is. An electronic device he wants to put inside of you for total control. I mean, it's very easy to understand, man. Here it is right here, Galatians 6 and 17. From henceforth, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahushua. And that could be said for us too, beginning fellow pastor on down. We bear the mark of Yahushua. What's the mark of Yahushua? This understanding, this knowledge, this truth, in which Yahushua had to shed his blood on the cross for us to receive it. So that is another mark. That in itself is a mark. So you can't just take just some random scripture just because it has the word mark in it and use it to deceive people, man. This is what Nathaniel is doing. Let's get back to the video.
Bag. We believe he took a bag. And see all this, the pea, they grow. All this is gimmicks. All this is gimmicks right here.
And if you have to use gimmicks, then that means you're not sincere. That means you're not sincere. There's no, look, there's no such thing as, oh, she's a little pregnant. No, either the bitch is pregnant or she's not. Now, if you have to use gimmicks in your ministry, that means you're not sincere, man. Superfluous gimmicks. Sincerity and honesty. Let's get that. A lot of these different Israelite groups, they use a lot of gimmicks. And sincere and honest. Now it should come up. Sincere and honest. What? And honest heart. There it is right here. Oh, the word sincere wasn't in there? Well, the word sincere is in another scripture. This is a good one, though. Luke 8 and 15. But that on good ground are they which, again, this talking about the seeds, which is a metaphor for this knowledge, this truth. By the way, these are the words of Yahushua. Luke 8 and 15. But that on the good ground are they which in an honest and good heart, having heard the word, keep it and bring forth fruit with patience. Right. The key is an honest and good heart. So that kind of individual wouldn't rely on cheap gimmicks to bring out the knowledge. Sincerity. Yeah, there you go. 1 Corinthians 5 and 8. Therefore, let us keep the feast. This ministry of ours is likened unto a feast, not with old leaven, right? You know, the old man, which before we came into truth, we were that old man in wickedness. So once you come into this knowledge of truth, you are purified. Remember John 15 and 3? Now you are clean through the word, right? So once you come into this ministry, you become purified, so that old leaven departs from you. So we keep the feast not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, right? But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth, right? So if you're keeping the feast with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth, you're not going to use gimmicks in your ministry. You're just not going to use it, especially to deceive people. 2 Corinthians 1 and 12, for our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our conscience. And I guess these other Israelites, their conscience don't bother them. Their conscience is dead, because they have no problem using these phony, cheap gimmicks to deceive the hearts of their people. For our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our conscience, that in simplicity, that's the key, and godly sincerity, not with fleshly wisdom as in gimmicks, but by the grace of our power, we have had our conversation in the world, and more abundantly to youward, right, in sincerity. Matter of fact, let's go to that scripture and let's go to the Hebrew word there, or rather the Greek word for sincerity. Let's go to the Greek word. I don't think I've ever did that. There's the Greek word there.
Strong's G 1505. Eilekrinea. Eilekrinea.
Eilekrinea. Eilekrinea, right? Purity, sincerity, ingenuousness. Ingenuousness. That's a good word. What does that word mean? First of all, let me ingenuousness refers to the state or quality of being naive and innocent and candid, lacking in sophistication or worldly knowledge. Oh, yeah, I like this one here. Ingenuousness describes a person who is free from pretentiousness. Oh, come on, that ain't Nate. That is not Nate. Is as, oh man, that's Nate is so pretentious. Nate is a Mr. I should say it. Nate is Mr. Pretentious. Sir Pretentious, Mr. Pretentious. That's Nate, man. All right. Ingenuousness describes a person who's free from pretentiousness, artifice, and deceit, often characterized by simplicity and honesty. Yeah. This ministry is simple, man. And if you keep this ministry simple, then chances are you're an honest person. But if you have to rely on all these superfluous gimmicks, then you're being dishonest. You're not being genuine. You're being disingenuous. Okay? Same synonyms for ingenuousness include innocence, simplicity, sincerity. There you go. How's that scripture go? Simple to that which is evil. Let me see if I can find that, because that scripture comes to mind. We are to be simple to that which is evil. Simple to that which is evil. Which is evil. KJV. Boom. Romans 16 and 19. Yeah, here we go. Romans, and I wonder what... Because you got to know, eventually all your wickedness is going to be found out anyway. Yeah, I wish I said there's nothing hidden that shall not be made manifest. Romans 16:19. For your obedience is come abroad unto all men. I am glad therefore on your behalf, but yet I would have you wise unto that which is good, and simple concerning evil. Right. That backs up the definition we're just reading. Romans 16:19. But everyone knows that you are obedient to the Lord. This makes me very happy. I want you to be wise in doing right and to stay innocent of any wrong. So that, you keep the ministry simple. That's easy to attain. Simplicity in the gospel. But when you have to go through all these superfluous gimmicks, well, there you go. That's where the deceit comes in. Because you didn't keep it simple. Okay? The scriptures speak about the simplicity that is in Yahushua. Simplicity. Romans 12:8. And he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with what? Simplicity. For our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our conscience, that in simplicity and godly sincerity. I believe I just read that. 2 Corinthians 1:12. 2 Corinthians 11:3. But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahushua. So we don't need no freaking gimmicks. Let's get back to the video. Well, it just went off the air, so let me see if it's going to pick up from where it was.
And thou wilt not acquit me from mine iniquity.
Let me show you the mark of God. Yeah, put us, yes, that's part of the image of the beast. It's only going to escalate. Right now, they ain't killing people for that. But in time, behind Trump, you got the evangelicals. You got to watch these Christians and Jews behind Trump. They're going to make this whole thing a whole religious thing. Watch. Now, let me show you the mark of God.
He's saying that you can sin now. You watch previous things that he did in the past couple of weeks, months, that now you can sin. You can break the law, you know, you can do this. But when Esau says you got to sin, that's when you got to stop sinning. Listen, let me say it again. You can sin now. You know, you can sin and ask for forgiveness. But when Esau says, look, you people got to start sinning. If you keep sinning, that's the mark.
Yeah.
If you stop, she's saying.
Yeah, according to Nathaniel, if you keep sinning, that's the mark. So you'll be able to buy if you just keep sinning. Every time you sin, you'll be able to buy.
Nope, I'm going to stop sinning because Esau, the devil, told me to sin. So therefore I'm going to no longer sin because he told me not to sin. So now, when you go to the store, you go to the BJ's and you go to cash out, like I go to what do you call it, South Cash Out. Never go online. I go to South Cash Out. I'm quick with it. I'm out, in and out. Boom. So now when I go, I'm gonna take my card. Tick, tick. Then they're gonna ask me.
This is funny, man. This is funny. Hey, this should be like a Monty Python skit. What you're about to hear. Those of you familiar with Monty Python, you know, Pastor's familiar with Monty Python, and you know, and so am I. You know, kind of grew up on that stuff.
Did you sin today?
Did you sin?
And then I'm gonna say yeah.
The Ned Beatty voice. Did you sin today? Did you sin today?
What sin have you committed? I looked at a chick's big ass. And
I'm telling you, that's a Monty Python skit, man. All the way. Let's bring it back. Did you sin today? I can see John Cleese asking Eric Idle, did you sin today?
Did you sin today? And then I'm going to say yes. What sin have you committed? I looked at a chick's big ass and I knew she was married. Okay, you can continue to make the purchase. Hit the yes button. So now if they say I come back, I
wonder what that buys you, you know? You commit a sin like that, you know? Yes, I looked at this chick's big ass. I was aroused by it, by this chick's big ass, and that was my sin for today, because I knew she was married. She told me she was married, but I continued to stare at her rotund rump, and I was aroused. That is my sin. Now, what does that buy me? Oh, my son, that buys you a lot. You can buy a lot with that sin. Okay, you can buy groceries for a week. Oh, thank you. Thank you. If you believe what shit that Nate's telling you, this is what this kind of scenario would apply. Okay?
No sin. I didn't look at a big butt woman's ass that I knew she was married to somebody, right? Which is adultery in the mind. Did you, hello, Mr. So-and-so, did you commit sin today? And he's saying, yes, I have. What sin did you commit? And you taking too long. What sin did you commit?
I'm telling you, it's a Monty Python skit. What sin, John Cleese? What sin did you commit? What sin did you commit? I'm trying to sound like John Cleese. What sin did you commit? Eric Idle. I committed a sin where I knew this woman was married. As a matter of fact, she's my next door neighbor. And she's got this gigantuous bottom. You remember the song by Queen, Fat Bottom Girls? Well, she's one of those. Fat bottom girls. And I was mesmerized by that bodacious bottom. And I must admit, I got weak, and now I have sinned. What does that buy me? What can I buy with that sin?
Taking too long, you're mumbling, you're wondering what you're thinking of a sin, because you didn't commit a sin that day. You know, you're trying to get right with God. And then it's going to say, we conclude that you haven't committed any sin today. You cannot purchase a person will come back and take the items and put it back on the shelf.
Yep.
But however, if you sin later today, you can come back and you can tell us what sin you commit. This is what this clown, this is what this clown is saying. This is what this clown is saying. This guy.
Exactly. You see how ridiculous that is? His breakdown. The mark of the beast is sin.
Clown. Like I said, if you're wondering, maybe Tahar got spies. There ain't no spies. There ain't no spies from GMS at your school, because they would be found out quick.
And this is why the scriptures say, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. It's not possible. Now, you know what's going to put an end to all this bullshit? When they make this microchip mandatory. Now, that's when the fun is going to begin. That's going to separate the wheat from the chaff, as it were. Because these devils, look, the scripture already tells us they're going to be as madmen sparing none. Okay? They have an agenda, man. And that agenda is the New World Order. And in that New World Order, they want everyone chipped. It ain't just America, it's the world. They want everyone chipped. This is a serious deal. So you keep listening to pretentious clowns like this guy, Nathaniel, and keep being deceived by him. Anyway, on to the next one.